How do we know that simply having a thought about an alien isn't some form of extraterrestrial contact? Psychonaut Terrence McKenna once talked about alien contact coming in some form that we wouldn't expect, like simply thinking about aliens or even using marijuana or psychedelics as a vehicle for having those experiences. The point being, I think, is that we don't have any idea how we might be contacted, therefore we can't rule out that we haven't been contacted already. And as exciting as it would be to make that first contact, immediately afterwards the next thought would have to be, how would we even talk to each other? In the 1997 movie Contact, the first form of communication is through radio signals from the star system Vega that Jodie Foster's character Ellie and her team discover. Later on, they eventually discover images being transmitted as well. Eventually, they figure out these images contain blueprints for a machine that they need to build, presumably to travel to Vega, though they don't know for sure at first. Once they build it and Ellie is able to travel to Vega, the film sort of glosses over exactly how they're able to talk to each other. The alien takes the form of her deceased father, and the setting is like some sort of green screen version of a desert island. They do this to make her feel more at ease, the alien says. Contact definitely holds up and is still a great movie, but they did sort of not deal with the communication questions similar to, for example, what they would do in Star Trek whenever the crew visited a new planet. It might have occasionally be mentioned in an episode that translation is being done through devices or that it's simply being taken care of. But in the movie Arrival, however, much of this film is about figuring out how to talk to each other and using linguistic skills and deciphering codes in order to solve this dilemma of language. And while this film does a really good job of portraying the discovery of first contact, one of the more really interesting aspects of this movie come at the end when they deal with one of the more mysterious questions of the universe: different perceptions of time. Once they build and use the machine, two interesting things happen. Time moves at different speeds inside and outside the machine. There are two cameras, one inside the machine and one outside. On the outside, the central command only see the machine start up and drop into the ground, or water in this case, in a matter of seconds. The inside camera captures mostly nothing, just white static or white noise, but for 18 hours. This discovery gives credibility to Ellie's story that inside the machine, she traveled through wormholes to Vega and talked with the aliens. And, perhaps more importantly, presents an almost equally jarring question: perhaps we know nothing about time? And that's one of the great things about this movie, questioning our understanding of time, the problems of our current knowledge of the universe, and realizing that maybe fundamentally we've been thinking about our universe in a very limiting way. That's the potential problem with clock time, is that it's useful for a wonky financial system we Earthlings have created or adhered to, but embracing it doesn't mean it actually is smart or tells us anything about how the universe might actually work. I mean, sure, clock time is good for remembering when your night shift at Arby's begins or when Chick-fil-A opens, but the repetition of that proves nothing about universal truths or understanding, no matter how many times you repeat it. And that's what I love about Contact, too. Seeing one defiant person, Ellie, stand up again and again for the possibility that extraterrestrials exist, that time could function in a way we never thought possible. And that sort of thing is still going on now, but it's kind of in a weird way. So you have the Pentagon and the Defense Department saying, okay, we saw all these things, and we have lieutenants like in the Air Force or the Navy and commercial pilots, and they're getting sightings all the time saying, yeah, we saw this thing. Oh, we actually have video of it too. So they're actually releasing these things, and there's still some sort of like disbelief, which is really strange. So you have the people who have to act like Ellie's character, like Jeremy Corbell or Lex Friedman, various scientists, popular podcast hosts like Joe Rogan, trying to give a platform to these people because for some reason it just isn't being accepted by the general public, it seems, that these things are a real possibility when we're sort of getting evidence now that they are. But despite the defiance, this is still a great movie. It still holds up. 7.5 out of 10 stars, a Robert Zemeckis classic. What are you waiting for?